If you're thinking about running TikTok ads but haven't made the jump yet, the truth is now might be the perfect time. TikTok is a brand new incentive for new advertisers. They have several different categories where if you spend a certain amount of money, you'll get a certain amount of money in ad credits. These include spending $200 of your own money and then getting $200 in ad credits, or spending $500 of your money and getting $500 in ad credits, or spending $1,000 of your money and getting $1,000 in ad credits. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly how to claim those credits, the steps to set up your first campaign, and how to maximize your ad budget to see real results. So let's get started. First things first, if you want to take advantage of this amazing deal by getting $100 in free TikTok ad credits, I would highly recommend using the link down in the description. Now, when you click that link, you should be brought to a page that looks something like this. As you can see, this is growing your business with TikTok ads. And as you can see in the bottom right corner here, they have a $200 ad credit that you can take advantage of, and we're going to dive into that a little bit further. We'll go ahead and click this deal right here, and it will expose the fact that we can enjoy 50% off of ad spending with up to $200 in cash back. Also, just as a quick note, once again, this does scale up with the more amount of money that you end up spending with them. That includes possible offers of $200 in ad credits, $500 in ad credits, and $1,000 in ad credits. But if we want to get started with TikTok ads, the first thing we have to do is hit the get started button. So as you can see on this page, this is their create account page. It's very easy to get started here, and we'll show you step by step how to do it. First thing you'll need to do is provide an email address that's valid and also add a password. There's the option of using a telephone number here if you also want to do that. Once you've done all of this, we'll make sure to check all these boxes so that way we're confirming our terms and conditions, and then hit the continue button. Also, a side note, if you already have a TikTok account that you're planning on using, I would highly recommend using the sign up with TikTok button, which is just below the continue button. This way, your TikTok account and your advertising account are perfectly linked and you don't have to do an extra step here. But for the sake of this video, we'll just assume you don't have a TikTok account and hit the continue button. Once we hit the continue button, we'll then do a quick little captcha right here just to make sure that we're not a robot. Now we simply have to confirm our email. We should get a code sent directly to our email that will simply copy and paste it into this format. Once you type that code in, you should be thrust inside of TikTok's ad account dashboard. The first thing we'll do is ask a couple of details about your business just to find out a little bit better about what it is exactly you're trying to do on TikTok ads platform. The first and last is our industry, and we can choose a bunch of different industries that they already have available. Most of you guys are probably going to be selling physical products given the fact that TikTok Shop is so successful. So we'll go ahead and choose e-commerce and then choose any of these that we have at our disposal. Just for the sake of this video, we'll choose jewelry. Then we enter in our business name. We'll call it a jewelry business. Once we have all this filled out, we'll then hit the confirm button and hit get started. And then just like that, we're inside of TikTok's ad account dashboard. You'll go ahead and accept these terms right here, and then we'll be ready to get started with our very first campaign. One of the easiest parts about the TikTok Ads Manager is the fact that they take you through step-by-step setting up your very first campaign, so there's really not too much confusion. I'm going to go ahead and hold your hand and walk you through this process so that way there's even more clarity within this whole system. Now, the first thing they're going to do is that you need to understand how ad campaign managers are broken down. Now, typically it's going to be in 3 distinct levels. The first level is going to be your campaign level. The second level is your ad set level. And the third level is your ad creative level. We're currently on the campaign level here, which is where we're going to be controlling a bunch of very broad, distinct categories, things like specific targeting and getting into what this actual campaign is going to be used for. So let's get into it. First things first is going to be our advertising objective. If you look here, basically this is just going to be what your campaign goal is. Are you trying to get sales? Are you trying to get leads? Are you trying to generate interest? Or are you trying to get people to be aware of your brand? There's a bunch of different options that you can choose here. Most of you guys, if you're trying to sell products, are probably going to go with the conversion option, or for the sake of TikTok Ad Manager, the product sales option, which we can click right here. Most of these I don't really mess around with. They're not that effective and they don't really achieve what we're trying to do by running ads, which is at the end of the day, make sales. I think that leads have their place depending on the type of funnel that you're running, but if you're selling physical products, leads are not really important. You're more focused on product sales and getting people to actually buy from you in the first place. So we can go ahead and click product sales. Then we have the secondary option here where we can either choose between TikTok Shop or catalog. For this specific option, I like to go with catalog. If you have your TikTok Shop linked, that can be even easier considering the fact that those products will be sourced directly from TikTok Shop for those people. Really good way to kind of drop ship if you're drop shipping here, but we'll go with catalog for this one right now. Now we can scroll down here and see a couple more things like our campaign name. We can change this just to organize it. We'll just call it jewelry business underscore, and then it'll say like the date. A lot of times I like to do like the actual date that I'm planning on running this. So I'll just do an example, January 1st, 2025, something like that. And then we have our special ad categories. This is only really important if you're making an ad in these 3 distinct categories, whether it's housing, employment, or credit. If you're not, you can leave that completely alone and not touch it. Next option is create split test. Again, I don't really like to do this. I personally like to split test things on my own by doing them myself. And you can do that by just running different campaigns. So I don't touch that. Campaign budget optimization. So this is where referred to as a CBO. This basically the only big difference here with a CBO versus otherwise what we're going to be doing in this video, which is an ABO, is that a CBO means that it automatically will adjust the budget depending on what it's finding to perform the best. So let's say you run a campaign, 3 ad creatives, you run a CBO on it. So the campaign budget is basically being focused on the campaign level. That means that the overall ad platform that TikTok provides you is making those decisions on when the budget should be increased, decreased, or spread apart to different parts of the ad creatives. It's kind of on autopilot, if you will, using artificial intelligence and algorithms to make decisions. ABO just gives you a lot more control. And it's what I like to test in the beginning because I get a lot more control over the types of budgets that I'm running, how much I want to increase or decrease, and it doesn't do it automatically for me. So we'll leave this blank for now. There's also the set campaign budget, which we can toggle that on, and we can see on the campaign level, seeing what our budget is instead of setting it per ad creative. We'll leave that off though. Again, there's not really much need for that in this instance. So we'll go ahead and hit the continue button here, which will take us on to this next page, which will be our ad set level. Now that we are on the ad set level, this is where we're going to control a lot of things like targeting. Also, some ad managers call it ad group. Again, you can call it whatever you want. Facebook calls it ad set. TikTok calls it ad group, just so you guys kind of have an idea of what that is. And again, we can scroll down here, video shopping ads. You can use a video or an image to promote your products. You can kind of ignore this for now. We're going to be doing most of our ad creative stuff in the actual creative section. We'll go down here for our catalog. Again, we can choose from the catalog that we're actually picking from. And then there's also our optimization location. So for this instance, we're going to be running traffic to a website. In your instance, you might just be running traffic straight to TikTok shop. So that's going to be a little bit different. If you have a pixel, which is kind of how you actually season and get audience information, so that way you can make better decisions on who you're running ads to and how to get more information on your ideal customer. That's again a really high level example of what you can do inside of the ad manager. Not really much, that I want to play around with or mess around with in this video, but you can pretty much just leave it how it is for now. Next thing, placements. I like to do automatic placements. It's going to be cheaper. The ad manager will charge you if you do select placements, because then you have to choose where your placements are actually going to go in the first place. I like to do automatic placements just because it's a little bit easier, and the algorithms I think tend to perform better when you kind of let them do their thing. Now, next thing here, this might be a bit of a controversial take, but even TikTok acknowledges this. Broad targeting is probably the best solution for most advertisers. I don't really mess around too much with my audience types. I don't mess around with my demographics, with my interests. Sometimes I'll mess around with the age or the gender. I'll do male, female, or I'll just do all. I'll do I'll select multiple of these. I'll go, instead of 13 through 17, I'll do 18 through 45 to 54, in that kind of age range. But most of this stuff up here, I leave blank. There's really no need to specify. But most of these different ad platforms already do targeting incredibly effectively, that you don't need to specify who you're looking for, right? The algorithm probably knows a lot more about who you're looking for, more so than you do. And by giving it more inputs, it kind of just confuses it, and it kind of reduces performance overall, is what I've found from testing these types of things. So I would highly recommend just leaving it broad. Don't add any interests or include or exclude anything. There's really no need for that, especially in the early stages of just getting started. Next, interest in behaviors. Again, not really too concerned about this unless my product is ultra specific. I'm not really messing around with this. Again, TikTok can do all this for you and do it pretty effectively. Now, budget and schedule. Typically for this, I like to start very, very low. I like to start around the $10 a day up to $12 a day, or kind of in that range. And again, sometimes TikTok will do this if your ad account is newer. You'll have to set it to $20 a day, I think is the minimum here. Let's see if I can do that. So $20 a day is the minimum that we can spend here, but I like to go as low as possible when I'm testing, so that way we don't overspend and get screwed on just a bad ad that wasn't performing well and we overspent on it. It's really good to start at those low budget requirements and then work your way up, so that we can kind of get a better idea of what works and what doesn't. Next is scheduling. I don't like to schedule. I don't really do a start time. The best thing that I can do, and again, this is basically what this does, is that it starts the ad and you have to manually turn it off. I never ever like to do a start and end time. I always like to have full control over when the ad launches and when it stops. Also, a pro tip here, if you haven't, or if you don't know this already, if you're planning on launching an ad, you can click the date that you're planning on launching it. I would highly, highly recommend changing this military time number to a number that's either 11:59 or literally the night before midnight, right? What that does is that gives you a little bit more wiggle room to have the ad run while you're sleeping. And then when you wake up, you'll have a little bit more data that you can make decisions on as well. Plus, most people don't run their ads starting at midnight. Most big companies don't. So you can get ahead of the curve on that as well. Next is bidding and optimization. I don't really change anything here. You can just leave this kind of the same. Make sure you choose the catalog if you don't have a catalog already. I can just kind of enter in something random here. Business account. Again, you can link that with the business center, which really quick, I'll actually kind of show you that. But the next part here is just uploading your ad creatives, and you're pretty much good to go on this page. Now, really quick here, I want to take you guys over to the business center. You can create a quick business center name here, hit the create button, try again if it doesn't work, and then make sure to choose that, hit the next button, and then enter your title. Again, you just enter a bunch of random stuff in here. It doesn't really matter too much for this video. I can just kind of say whatever, and then the link, you just throw any link in here. It really doesn't matter. Hit the create button, upload a product image. Again, you can upload just about anything here, and that's pretty much it. And that's pretty much how you're going to be able to take advantage of these TikTok ad credits. Once again, you have to spend those specific threshold amounts in order to actually get the ad credits in the first place. So $200 will give you $200 in ad credits, $500 will give you $500 in ad credits, and $1,000 will give you $1,000 in ad credits. And the best part is that all of this is completely free. As long as you spend that threshold amount, you will get those ad credits.